everyone, Dave Axel. Welcome to the interview with the Weekly Band Crawl. I have to tell you, this is a long time coming.
Yep.
I'm a huge fan. I love the band. I love you. I love Carrie. I'm thrilled that only because Deanna had a meltdown. Deanna was like, we have to do this, right? But I'm thrilled I finally get you on the band.
Also, I'm glad to be here. Man.
Now, officially, so this weekend you're at Post Time.
Yes, Saturday.
Okay, so you're there Saturday, only the one night?
Yeah, we're just there Saturday.
Saturday night. And then I'm there on Saturday, July 25th. So I don't know if she told you or not. I said, well, that means the Psycho Magnets are opening for Midnight Mayhem.
That's right.
That's right. Go. Yeah.
Save the best for last.
Like that would ever happen. So, you have not been to Post Time as Psycho Magnets, correct? And if you have, it's been
10 years ago, at least.
With Scott Seaton on drums. Was that the last time you were there?
No, Sid was on drums, I believe.
Okay.
I think we had Sid back for a little bit. And actually, we had Brian Magner from Crash Rocket fill in with us.
Nice.
That night, because our guitar player couldn't make it. And that was it.
Okay, so that means a lot of people have not seen the band.
No.
I talk about the band every time you come up on the band crawl. I tell everybody what an amazing frontman you are and how great the band is. But a lot of these people haven't seen the band.
Right.
So they're coming to Post Time to check it out. Tell me what they're going to get.
We're an ABBA tribute band. No, I'm just kidding.
You're still doing that, right?
No, it's party rock, 80s, a good variety of stuff. We do a lot of, I shouldn't say a lot, we do a good amount of medleys, mixing it up. I mean, we'll go anything from like Steve Miller into the Bangles, into Bee Gees, into anything really. I mean, we kind of mix it up, we keep it going, and we get a lot of feedback from that people really enjoy that because they're just sit there like, what's next? What are they going to do next? Is it over? Oh, there's more, kind of thing. And of course, some of the standards that everybody loves, and some little gems here and there that we like to throw in.
Now, there's some hair metal in there too.
There is. We used to do a lot more of the hair metal stuff, but we kind of toned it down.
Okay.
Because I know in the Daytona area where we were primarily playing, like, we were one of the bigger bands at the time. This is going back. That was doing the '80s stuff, and then the '80s stuff kind of was getting bigger, and then you saw everybody doing it. Not saying we were, on top of anything or anything like that, but just the fact that now became like the norm. So we're like, all right, well, let's switch it up a little bit. So That's where some of the more, danceable kind of rock stuff fits in, and the medleys and things like that.
I'm surprised to hear the ABBA and the Bee Gees and the cool.
We even throw in a little Tiffany in there.
Really? Which one?
I think we're alone now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Very cool. So they can come and dance and sing the whole night.
Absolutely. And they can also rock out.
Well, yeah, and this is obviously nowhere. It's first time really at Post Time in forever. But the band is now 24 years old.
24 years old this year. So, yeah.
And lots of originals.
Yeah, we have two CD, well, one full-length CD and one EP that we've put out. And there's, I guess I'll say it, we're working on new stuff.
Nice.
We have three songs already going, and there's more being written. So we don't know if it's going to be a single we're going to put out and just milk the single thing for a little while,
right?
Or a full EP or full album or something.
And they can still get the originals on what? Like it's on Apple Music, I think.
Yeah, it's on iTunes. You can still listen to them on Spotify, YouTube Music, all that stuff. Just type in Psycho Magnets, which is PSYCHO.
How many people would spell that name? So I was in the band for about a year and a half on drums. It was a dark time for the band, but they've recovered. And we would pull up to shows, and Psycho could be spelled any way they wanted to spell it.
The Fisco with the Pachicos. I mean, it just got to where it was a joke.
But the name is stuck. I mean, like that. Yeah. That has been around. You've been around long enough that I did a bank transaction the other day where it verifies your identity. And it asked me which corporations I've been associated with, and it had Psycho Magnets.
There you go.
Like, it's legit. Yep. It's been around forever.
We've been around for a long time.
So who's in this? The lineup, obviously, like every single band.
All right, let me
24 years. It's gonna change, right? So tell me who's doing it now.
So currently we have Barry Welch on drums.
Yep, he's fantastic.
Yes, he's been with us 6-7 years. Mike Markowski on bass. He's been with us about 4 or 5 years. And the newest member, Brian Burpee, he's been with us close to a year. Yeah, it's doing good. And, I'm grandpa here. I've been there forever. So
Literally grandpa, by the way, right?
Yeah,
like how many grandkids are there?
Just one.
Just one. Okay.
One recent one. That's
Just
it.
saying.
I'm good with
the
that.
grandfather. I think I'm older than you, so don't feel bad. So in addition to the Psycho Magnets thing,
Yes.
you've got Primal Crew.
Primal Crew, Motley Crue tribute band, absolutely.
Fill me. I mean, that looks like it's going to be amazing. You've got Jet on drums.
Jet from Jet. Everybody knows Jet.
Yes.
We have Chris Engelberger on guitar.
Nice.
Who was in an AC/DC tribute band.
Didn't he just tour, or was that the other?
Yeah,
person
he's with
I'm getting into?
he's
Obsessed?
in the Obsessed.
Yeah, he just did a tour.
Yeah, and then we have Thomas McNeely, which was from
Rockafly.
Rockafly. And it's a great bunch of guys, super talented musicians, and our goal is to go out there and take like the 2013, 2015 Crew era where they look and do all the hits. We're not trying to do like a 1986 and look 86. I'm a firm believer, like, I don't want to see Kiss in full makeup from the 77 era
Right, I'm with you.
playing Lick It Up.
Right.
I'm a purist. Like, if I go saw Motley in 2015, that's what I would get. The greatest hits covering kind of thing. So that's pretty much what we do, and we our goal is not to do the live versions or anything like that. We really want to like do exactly what they did on the record. I mean, great harmonies, great background vocals we have. Chris is a phenomenal guitar player, figures out two different parts at the same time kind of thing. So it's a good time, man. It's a good time, and we're doing a couple local shows here and there. Our goal is not to be local. And man, I say local, I mean Florida. Do a couple shows, but our goal is to go out of state.
Take it on the road.
And take it on the road.
Now, when you play in Florida, you have another Florida show set up right now? I haven't seen anything announced.
We just we are going to be the 4th of July at Saints and Sinners in Ormond.
Nice.
Playing from 4 to 6, and then we have one August 5th at City Limits in DeLand.
Okay.
And then, not sure the date, but it's tentative August 12th at the Green Parrot.
Nice.
That's not confirmed yet.
I am very excited to get to a show.
So
It's a killer lineup.
I love it.
Like and you are perfect to do that.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely perfect to do that. So I haven't made it out because I'm always playing when you play.
I know,
but I am dying to get out there and check it out. Yeah. And then on top of that, because you're bored, you've got Shameful.
Shameful. Okay, a lot of people.
That's 3 of you.
Yes, basically a lot of people call it Psycho Light.
Psycho Light.
Where it's pretty much myself on vocals and all guitars, and then we still have Barry and Mike on our rhythm section. So it's basically without Brian.
Mm-hmm.
And that was actually done out of necessity due to venues not wanting to pay.
Right, sure.
You want to pay less, one less guy kind of thing.
Right,
and it was supposed to be just fun. Go up there and we try to be super professional in Psychos because it's been around for so long.
Sure.
Reputation-wise. And Shameful, exactly what it is called. Go out there, do whatever, say whatever.
Who cares?
Have fun. Exactly. Just to, kind of let your hair down, kind of a band, and it's supposed to be just a Sunday thing.
It plays pretty often.
Yeah, it's turned into weekends, weekdays, everything. So it's doing good.
And besides the music thing,
okay,
one thing that you are awesome at is the PR, right? The promotion, the having the merchandise, having the website set up, having the Facebook event, you've always done a phenomenal job with the marketing piece. And I don't know if a lot of people know, but you have your own promo merch company.
Yeah, I work with Bad Apple, which is a clothing apparel company. So I work with them in promoting them, getting accounts and things like that. As well as I have my own little kind of social media, nowhere near like you.
That's all right.
But I have my own little social media thing where I do social media for other companies as well. So learning it. It's always changing.
Just before we got on camera, I was like, hey, right. I've got t-shirts. I need t-shirts.
Right.
You can get those made for me.
I can get them
made
for you.
And not only can I get the inventory from you, but you can then have through your Bad Apple affiliation, it can be online and people. It's almost like for the bands that have to buy inventory and stock this stuff. It's right. Almost an on-demand print model where they don't have to stock a bunch of merch they spend $1,000 on.
Exactly.
And they make a little less money, but they do nothing.
Right.
It just sits on a website.
We'll set you up a page on the site, sell your shirts for you, give you the link, we sell them, make them, ship them, done deal. your customers are happy, and you don't, like you said, have to put out hundreds of dollars of inventory and lug it around to the shows. You want a minimal inventory, you want that quick sale, that's one thing. Might be 2 weeks between a show, and somebody's like, hey, when's the next show? I want to get a shirt. Here's a link.
Here's a link. Go
Boom,
online.
get it, and we write you a check. We send you money.
Right. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing out of pocket or anything like that. So it's a win-win for everybody.
And originally, I don't know if it's still the case, but originally you had like a music store tied in with that.
Yes, I was doing printing and all the clothing and stuff, and it's just now I own a music store, and I also do laser engraving.
Okay.
So laser engraving's in the back, music store in the front.
Wow.
So it's cool. It's a cool
You
little.
may do more than me. You may
No, I
be
don't
the
think
first
so,
person
man.
that I'm like, he may do more than me. And so the music store is up there in Palm Coast?
It's Bunnell.
Oh, it's in Bunnell.
It's in Bunnell, yeah. It's a nice small little mom and pop shop, do repairs.
Looks like you've got a good inventory of stuff in
Yeah,
there.
I got and I tried it. Being a musician, I'm not going there. I'm not carrying your $800 guitars or anything above that. I'm not carrying your vintage. I'm there to repair your guitars. I'm there to get you an affordable backup or a beginner. We do lessons there.
Oh, you do lessons?
Yeah, we do guitar, bass, drums, and vocal.
Now you could teach all of that.
I actually am the instructor.
You're the instructor. I was gonna say,
For
like, you don't even need a staff. You can just do that yourself. Now, and you play drums in Toy Box?
No,
Maybe?
no,
You did for a little bit.
I did for a little.
right?
I did for a little bit, and for like a couple years, and we kind of took a break from that. Everybody kind of went their own separate ways, and then Fred, who was a guitar player in Crush,
Yep.
it was actually his band that he started,
Okay.
Toy Box. He did Crush, and then I said, "Hey, man, it's okay if I ask Mel, if Melody Magner,
Yeah.
if she wants to work with me." He's like, "Dude, I'll give you the website, I'll give you the Facebook, everything. Here you go."
Easy, yeah.
So I did it, and then we were kind of like on a hiatus, a break, whatever. And he, Crush ended. Next thing I know, Facebook page is up. Fred's back. He's back
We're
in Toy
good.
Box. So they're go out there. They're playing a lot, man. A lot.
I see them on the crawl. I
Yeah.
mean, I read their name. I smile every time because I think they're a lot of fun.
I think speaking of drumming, I think I've played more drums in Psycho Magnets in the past year because our drummer, he can officiate weddings.
Okay.
He is the guy, like, when you go to a wedding and there's that big thing with all the wine glasses with the name tags.
Yeah, yeah.
He builds all that.
Okay.
So sometimes he's got to go out of town to go set up and break down for the wedding. So I pull out the old headset and the sticks and I go to town and we just go out as a 3-piece, or I'll bring in a buddy of mine, Randy Pepper.
Yeah.
Have him come in
He
and be
owns
the
Guitar
second.
Shack or something, right?
Guitar Attic.
Attic, that's
Yes,
it. Okay.
Guitar Attic.
Drummer, I don't know these things. Okay. Right. That's awesome. And by the way, it was never pressure at all playing behind a lead singer that knew when you made a mistake. Because you play the drums too. You could be the band by yourself.
No. There was a time when with anybody, I always looked at it this way, and I don't know how anybody wants to take this, but if you're there to do a job, not necessarily you, anybody's there to be the bass player or whatever the case might be, if I can go pick up the bass and play it better,
Right.
or play the part correctly, you need to, and I wouldn't consider myself a bass player or a drummer.
Right,
I
I
can
understand.
hold my own, but I would definitely say, hey, why is it that I've heard the song enough times that I can play that bass part
And
for
you
you.
can't.
And you were supposed to practice at home. And
That's right.
You showed up to rehearsal and no.
No, and it's a job.
It is. And
I mean-
that's one thing working with you, Dave. One thing working with you. And Dave was a great drummer, as you all know. But Dave is very, very much a businessman, as you all know. And Dave taught me a lot about the business end of it, because I always looked at it as business, because it's money being exchanged hands
Sure.
and stuff like that. But at the same time, it needs to be more structured. There, accountability with everybody. The numbers have to be right. It's not
Right.
just, hey man, let's go each make $100 and some beers, and go out and have a good time. Well, yeah, if you want to do that for a couple months and then disappear, but 24 years,
Right.
you gotta adapt to survive, and I think and I owe a lot of that to you, man.
I appreciate it. I mean, you were there 15 years before me at least, right? So you were at the new. I'll tell you what, though. In my history of everything, you were my hardest audition. Do you remember how I auditioned? Because I do. So you sent me. So this is true story. Their originals are awesome. Like Angry Soul's still one of my favorite songs.
Okay.
Awesome. And so you sent me the information and said, like, here's some originals. and like a cover song or two and learn those. And I showed up at John Gaynor's house, right?
Okay.
And he has a full studio where you could go behind
Yes.
the glass, like full studio. And so I walked in and you were like, cool, Dave, John, Dave, this one, that one, okay, whatever. We're going to go back here behind the glass and play you the original without drums in your in-ears and let's see how we do.
Oh, yes.
And it was just like, oh, so you're not playing with me. I'm going to play to a track.
Play to a track.
And make sure that I get it right. And then I think
Yep.
well, you hired me. You were either desperate or I did okay. But you, but like, I remember thinking like, that's a good way to audition somebody. There's no hiding. There's no nothing. You can either play it and we'll all be back there making sure, or nothing.
Well, don't you remember when they tried him out for Steel Dragon in the Rockstar
That's
movie?
right.
Get in the booth. We're going to sit here.
Right. That's what it was. And that's my Psycho Magnet guitar. Do you remember where that's from?
Oh, I know exactly how I broke that guitar. This used to be my guitar.
True
and I
story.
would play it all the time. We were playing at the Iron Horse.
Yep.
And I used to do this thing where I'd take it by the headstock and hold it upside down and balance it at the end of the song, throw it up, catch it. Well, it was just really hot that day, if you remember.
Really hot.
I threw it up, and it was coming down headstock first, and I pancaked it between my hands, but they were so sweaty. Just right
Bam.
through. And the headstock went that way, and this guitar...
Okay, that's all glue. That's all glue.
It was glue. And to add the insult to injury, there was a guy in the crowd, and he walked up to me and goes, I have a Les Paul for sale, and he handed me a business card. I was like, damn, man.
That's a great show, though.
It was a great time. Great
You know,
time.
the best thing about your band is that you guys are so much fun. Like, you have this really, really good way, there's no real better way to explain that, of connecting with the crowd and just making them think that, like, I'm talking to you or I'm singing to you.
Right.
And everyone always reacts to that. Every show I've seen, and I've seen you since I've been in the band,
Right.
every show we did in the band, like, you just have a way of walking into the room and making everybody there your friend for the night. And we're all going to hang out and have a good time and do whatever.
Right.
And then we go home. And so that's why the band has made it so long is, you guys are talented. There's a lot of talented bands.
Right.
But you're really good at bringing people into the show. And when I talk about the band on the band crawl, I always say, like, you're one of the best front men in town.
I appreciate
the
it.
band is awesome. They play so. I can't go to your opening act for us at post time. And I can't go
We'll warm them up for you,
warm 'em
Dave.
up. 'Cause, only 3 weeks later. But I'm sure you guys are going to crush it over there. And Deanna and her team are outstanding to work with.
Yeah.
Do you have T-shirts, by the way? Have you already brought them T-shirts?
Yes, so it's funny, Jet Decker, who is in Primal with me, Jet County Dragsters was playing, and Thomas, our bass player, plays
Yep.
with it as well. He was playing, and Deanna's like, she came and picked up the shirts from me. She goes, think about how everybody wear them this weekend. I'm like, who's playing? She goes, Jet. I'm like, oh, he's just going to love that.
He's going to be thrilled.
He's going to love that. So it's funny. So she took a couple pictures and posted them. And I was like, here's another one for Jet. Get him to wear one, right?
Wow.
So there's a photo of the whole crew right there in front of the stage, and somebody's holding up the T-shirt in front of Jet, and he just got these disgust in his eyes.
Speaking of great shows, I mean, like, he's absolutely top of the game. I love everything that guy does.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
every single time. So, and by the way, when you go there, we gave out shirts to the staff when we played there once before. And, getting
I
in
sold
there.
mine to the staff.
Yeah, there you go. I gave them. But Erica over there wears our shirt like all the time, to the point where I had to go in and give her another one because she's going to wear it out. So I'll make sure that she has that ready because it glows in the dark.
Nice.
So while you're playing, I'll make
Nice.
sure there's a Midnight Mayhem.
Well, if
logo
I see
on
the
it.
Midnight Mayhem shirt, I'm going to call her up on stage, and I'm going to plug your show and say, we're warming it up. Keep
There
it
it
warm
is.
for 3-4 weeks.
There it is. So I have to ask you, because
Okay.
of all people, like, you're one of the best ones to ask this question to.
Uh-oh.
There has to be a favorite funny story from the band. You can blank out names
Oh
to
my
protect the
God,
innocent.
there are
There has to be a story that
So
you're, and you can. I don't
many.
care if it's more than one, but there's got to be something that you're like, you'll never believe this. So while you're thinking,
Okay, go ahead.
while you're thinking, I went to see them because I was thinking of auditioning for the band before that even auditioned, and Sid was on drums.
Yes.
Who's great. He's awesome, and super nice. And he'd had a couple drinks that night, which is weird.
A couple.
Which is weird. And so he's like, get up here and play a couple songs. And I'm like, no. And he's like, oh, I'll get up. So I played a couple songs, and I got off stage with you, and I'm staying for the rest of the show. This is probably like second set. And he comes up and he's like, you did a great job, man. bear hug with his beer angled down like this, and
you
he
were like,
coated me in beer, and then was like, "Oh crap!" It was hilarious.
Well, there was something where, okay, so you got another story. The band was started 2 years prior to me joining.
That I didn't know.
Yeah, they had a lead singer and a bass player, and they were kind of scoping me out. So they came and saw me. My band was just actually ending at that time. They're like, come play bass for us, and you can sing, so we can do different songs. I was like, fine, and give the singer a break. Not that he needed a break or anything like that, but so then just one thing led to another. Singer wound up leaving, and we became a three-piece, and that was like the core of the band was three-piece for the longest time. So at the time, I was playing bass and vocals, and I remember we were playing it. I'm gonna try not to say names here, but we were playing. If you know the three-piece version I'm talking about, then you know. The guys in the band, I wasn't drinking. There's no shot glasses left behind the bar because they're all on stage, and I am not exaggerating whatsoever. To where they would collect, and then they would go back and wash them, and then they'd all wind up back on the stage again. And the best part is, our guitar player was ordering over the mic, which is not professional, but ordering over the mic, and the manager, she goes like this. And he's a little intoxicated, and I'm sober, so I'm like, what does this mean? You drank us out of 3.5 bottles of Jaeger that we have. We don't have any more here. In one night. I was like, wow. So there was that, but then there was one personal story that I had. Have you ever had any celebrities at your show? You find out
like in the audience or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just played at Murano's and we were playing a Kool and the Gang song, and their bass player was there.
Oh, okay.
And he came up after and he's like, "You guys did a good job with that." I'm like, well, "Thanks." He's like, "Yeah, I'm the bass player of Kool and the Gang." Oh, okay. So yes, we have.
So I was. This was just when I was starting to play with Psycho Magnets, and I think the guys that came out and started playing with my old band just sat in with us. So there was this guy, full stonewashed denim, fingerless gloves on, all this stuff, sitting right there in front watching the band. And somebody said, play some Kiss. So we played Cold Gin. Cool, the guy gets up, he goes to the restroom. Now the restroom, you walk in, it's a toilet and a sink. You can see everything. That's it. So I walk in there, and you never make eye contact in the bathroom. This guy's washing his hands. So I'm standing there doing my thing. And at the corner of my eye, I see the guy. He's looking. And I'm like, what's this dude looking at my junk, right? So I look down on the back of the toilet, was his gloves. He took his gloves off to wash his hands. So, and the guy kind of looked familiar, right? Like, a local dude, whatever. So he goes out there, and I'm like, I finished up, I'm like, there you go. Swatch places. He hauls ass. I'm preparing to go out there. This dude was in there looking at my, I'm about there to go out and tell this story, right? The waitress that was taking care of him, she's holding up her paper, a bill, and she's, oh my God, you won't believe what that was, blah, blah, blah. You don't know who it is until somebody tells you who it is. You're like, oh crap. So she goes, I knew it was him. I'm like, who? She goes, the guy in the stonewash with the gloves, the biker dude, he just left. I'm like, yeah. Who is he? She goes, it's Garth Brooks. And she showed me the autograph. I'm like, so now my story, guess who was just checking out my document?
Totally different story now.
Totally different story. Went from being uncomfortable to, hey, guess what?
There you go. And if you ever go to a show, that's a story you can tell to get backstage.
That's that.
That'll
yeah.
I have a funny Psycho Magnet story you may not even remember.
Uh-oh.
My biggest faux pas I remember is we played this bar. I don't remember which one it was. We only played it once. And I set up the drums, and a fog machine used to be by me, and I would run the fog machine for the drums. And so we're playing, and I'm hitting the fog machine, and nothing's happening. Like, no smoke out front, no nothing. I'm like, what in the hell's going on? I'm drumming as I do it, so I'm not paying attention to this.
It's the White Eagle.
White Eagle, that's it. So I'm hitting the fog, well, nothing's happening. So finally, I get annoyed with this thing, and I hold the fog button down, and I'm just holding it, and there's nothing. And then I realize the fog machine is in front of the intake vent
of the AC.
For the entire AC system. So about 10 seconds later, every vent in the restaurant with fog, to the point where we couldn't see squat in that show. And I was like, oh, sorry. Figured it out. My bad.
That was a good one. But I do have one quick Dave story.
Uh-oh. This won't be good.
So I think we were playing at Mai Tais.
Okay.
And Dave was like, hey, bring out a drum set. Or whatever it was. I want to bring up drum set.
Jugs percussion. I
Jugs
remember
percussion
this.
from the 60s or 70s.
I remember.
And I set this, it was just some piece of crap I got at a garage sale. I was like,
remember this.
whatever. And Dave's playing, he's going and he hits the tom and it busts in half and the tom
rolled away. And it rolled away.
And Dave's just like, okay.
Yep. And if you remember, after a while I was singing that drum when I played the fills. So I would play the fill, and when I got to the first tom and I hit the second tom, I would just go or whatever in the microphone because I had a headset mic. That was fun. That was a fun
Good
show.
stuff. Good. I think that wasn't Mai Tais.
That wasn't my dice. It was a black Jugs percussion set
That's
that
right.
basically disintegrated as we played it. Well, I am super excited you guys are post time.
Absolutely.
I
We
am
are too.
thrilled you were able to do it, which means Deanna will let us both live.
Yes.
Because she was like, I'm like, okay, I'm down anytime, right? So I'm thrilled you could make it out. If you haven't seen Psycho Magnets, they're in your backyard at an amazing venue. Head out to Post Time on Saturday. It's going to be a fantastic show. Make sure you check out Shameful. Make sure you check out Primal Crew. And then that's the only two other bands besides...
Psychoustic, which is myself and
That's
my
right.
drummer, Acoustic.
That's right. And you used to do another one with Randy.
Oh, I do that. I alternate between Randy and Barry and
All right.
my guitar player, depending on who's available.
Very cool. So there's plenty of... And you can check out, let's see, the music store, the merchandising, where you can get your... I'm ordering t-shirts from him right now.
Yep.
The merchandising, like they can find you all over the place, which is awesome. And next year's the 25th anniversary.
That's right. We don't know what we're going to do.
There's got to be something. Oh, yeah. Any suggestions, hit him up. Let him know. I'm going to think of some stuff, too, but there's got to be something. Thank you so much for watching the Weekly Band Crawl. We'll see you
guys.
at their show this weekend. Have a good one.